Hey YouTube, it's Cecily, the visionary, here to talk to you a little bit today about protein overload. I'm making this video because it's something that I've been dealing with for the last 2.5, 3 months. When they say protein overload is something that gradually is repaired over time, they are definitely not lying. My hair normally, I would say, is a lot. I would say the elasticity is a lot more present in my hair than it is now, and it's going on 3 months just about of dealing with protein overload, and this is actually the best condition it's been in since. I don't know my curl type. I'm not that of an avid hair person to know exactly what curl pattern I have or anything, but I made the mistake of putting my own homemade. I'm really into making my own homemade natural products, which you will see very soon on my channel. I'm very big into holistic, anything natural, anything that comes from the earth, using products only on your body that are natural. So of course, with that process, sometimes you learn the hard way, and I did recently by putting a conditioner with egg and mayo in my hair. Bad idea. Do not do that. If your hair looks anything remotely similar to mine, don't put egg and mayo in your hair. It's too much. So basically, I arrived at protein overload, and my hair, the ends of my hair, looked like they were snapping off. They also looked like they were melting on each other. The strands of hair just looked like they were lifeless. There was no pulling them whatsoever, and if you pulled them, they would snap right off. So I've made a lot of progress since then to be able to pull my hair and not feel anything snap off. But again, a lot of those ends broke off as well. So a little bit about protein overload. Protein overload is really tricky. I learned also the hard way that you've really got to be mindful that the products that you're using to fix the protein overload don't have proteins in them, or have the least amount of proteins possible to where they won't add to the damage that you've already done. So, case in point, I love Giovanni's leave-in conditioners, and that's what I'd used up until this point. A couple of other ones as well, which I'll do a review videos on coming up. But Giovanni's in particular, I realized when reading the ingredient panel that very high on the ingredients list, which means it's probably one of the main components of the product, was a protein. So not only was my hair damaged from too much protein, after I was co-washing it and putting on more protein to further melt my hair even more. So after about 2 or 3 co-washes of from hell, I realized that I had to go back and rethink, regroup, and research, and I figured out that that was indeed the case. And since then, I put together my own little mixture of products to hydrate my hair and moisturize my hair to where I didn't really have to do too much to it, and it would kind of the mixture that I used. It actually, my curls loved it. My hair loved it. My curls puffed up. It was great, and I still use it now. But what you want to look out for as far as proteins go in your product regimen, if you're struggling with protein overload, first of all, know that there is hope. You can return from protein overload back to your natural state. It's all in the mind. But what you want to look for is anything hydrolyzed anything. Eggs, anything with eggs, of course. Anything labeled silk. Anything with soy. Any nuts, any almond oils, which I'll tell you a little bit about as well, having to do with the almond oil. But that's a protein. So you want to be careful to check the labels to make sure these things aren't part of the product that you're using. And if they are, they're not high on the ingredients list. Maybe they're one of the last few ingredients, meaning there's not so much of that in the product itself. In addition to that, anything that's a reconstructor or a rejuvenator or that addresses split ends or damage. Anything with milk. I don't know if I already said that. Those all have proteins in them, and there's a lot more. So you're going to have to do your own research. You're going to have to be diligent if you really want to protect and save the rest of the hair that you have on your head. You're going to have to do your own research and find out what is protein and what out of those proteins is inside of the products that you have in your medicine cabinet, in your regimen that you're currently using. So that's a little bit about my tango with protein overload as of late. I would say I'm bouncing back. I'm bouncing back slowly but surely. It's not in the state that I'm used to, but it's in a lot better shape than it has been. So, yeah, protein overload. There is hope. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. My name is Cecily, your Sage Visionary. Thanks, YouTube.